Hey friend, what's up? It's me, Devin Marvell, back again with another video. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. Go ahead, do me a favor, stop what you're doing, and hit that thumbs up button. Go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe for me. Just so I know that you're there, alright? Thank you. So, did you hear about R.Kelly? Can we talk about R.Kelly? We gotta talk about R.Kelly. Last Monday, BuzzFeed released this very informative, investigative, journalistic piece that pretty much blew up R. Kelly's whole entire spot. He is running a sex cult. This guy named Jim DeRogatis wrote this article. Now, he is a journalist who has dedicated a lot of his career to writing about R. Kelly and his creep pedophile-like ways. So he's really done the time and the research into all of this stuff. So that alone gives this article a lot of credibility. Also in the article, he has 3 people that were in R. Kelly's inner circle. One was his personal assistant, and then the other 2 were in a relationship with R. Kelly, over the past 5 years, I think it said. The reason that this article came out is because there are parents of 2 of the girls that are in this alleged sex cult of R. Kelly's are trying to get their daughters back home. And the reason that their daughters are even with R. Kelly in the first place, mind you, I should go ahead and say that these girls are of age. I know, right? Kudos to R. Kelly. Their daughters wanted to be in the music business, so both of their stories are pretty much the same. Their daughters wanted to be in the music business. They wanted to help them get into the music business. They went to an R. Kelly concert. They got to go backstage and meet and talk with R. Kelly. They talked about their daughters' careers. R. Kelly seemed like he was down to, help their daughters move forward with their careers. And, of course, because he is this legendary superstar, they trusted him. And he would kind of talk to their daughters on the side without their knowledge, sending them, text messages or flying them out places or meeting up in hotels or whatever with them. And then eventually they ended up moving in to be a part of his sex cult. The girls have not spoken to their families in a little over a year, and they have not seen their families, all of that good stuff. So they really have no contact with their families. So these parents are talking to Mr. DeRogatis about, their experience and how there's nothing that the law can do because they have sent police officers to where their daughter's at to get a welfare check, and the welfare check came out that they were all right. They said that they're happy, they said that they're fine, that there's no need to worry. They might get a text message once in a blue moon or something that says that they're fine, and it's sad. It is sad, but at the end of the day, there was nothing that law enforcement could do because the girls are of age. So if they say that they're fine, then it is what it is. The parents are saying that their daughters have been brainwashed by R. Kelly into this relationship. So it's crazy. That part of the story is crazy. If it were anybody else, maybe we would give this story a little okay, that sounds a little media takeout-ish. It sounds a little crazy, but the thing is, R. Kelly is a known creep. He is a known creep. He is a known pedophile. Let's just call it what it is. And it's not a secret. He has flaunted it right in front of our faces for well over 20 years. I don't know how much more evidence that this man is a creep that we really need to get him up out of here. But I'm hoping that finally we are going to be able to get R. Kelly and his creepish ways up out of here, because it seems like I've seen this story continue to be ran through, and it seems like people aren't letting up. He's kind of getting, I said on Twitter, he's having his Bill Cosby moment, you know what I'm saying? People knew that Bill Cosby was a rapist or had allegedly raped people in the past. It had always been something that was just talked about on the low, but there was never really any confirmations, because he, just like R. Kelly has done, had paid off his victims or it made them sign like NDAs and stuff like that. And finally, it came back and it got him. So let's go ahead and break down R. Kelly's creep ways. Back in 1994, R. Kelly was working with a young singer by the name of Aaliyah, who went on to become a pop superstar before her untimely death in the year 2002. Was it 2001 or 2002? But before she passed away in a plane crash, he was working with her at the age when she was 15. He was 27. This was in 1994 when her first album. You ready? Y'all ready? Y'all know what I'm about to say. Age ain't nothing but a number. All right. So, which also had a song on there titled Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Y'all know, age ain't nothing but a number. Throwing down ain't nothing but a thing. Oh. He wrote that. And then, not only that, you know what I'm saying? Because, music's music, art is art, whatever. But as right after that, during that time, a marriage certificate comes out and he married Aaliyah. 27-year-old R. Kelly married 15-year-old Aaliyah. She lied on the marriage certificate saying that she was 18 years old, but she didn't lie to R. Kelly. R. Kelly knew that she was 15 years old. He had met Aaliyah when she was 12 years old and then married her when she was 15. And it's so creepy when you go back and you watch the clips. Like, there's a specific clip of them together on Video Soul back in the day, and they're promoting her album, and they call each other best friends. And then there's another clip of him accepting a Billboard Music Award, and he thanks his mom and he thanks his best friend Aaliyah. And it's like, it's just so crazy to go back and watch that. And even today, he did an interview with GQ last year in 2016, and it was a really good interview. It's a really good one. You should definitely go back and check it out if you haven't, because they really went into depth about things. And this is the first time, I think, that he's actually really spoken on the Aaliyah situation. He said that he didn't feel like that he did anything wrong. He loved her, she loved him, as he put it, and they were the best friends, is what he said. So that alone, right there, is like strike one. But somehow, some way, we the people went ahead and we let that slide. And I guess because he continued to make great music, and people just were like, okay, well, we'll continue to jam out to it. And Aaliyah's family really wanted to keep that whole thing like on the low. They really wanted that to be like low. So what they did was they got the marriage annulled, and Aaliyah would not talk about it, and she denied it for a while and all that good stuff. But yeah, it was just something that just kind of got swept underneath the rug. And I understand, for image wise, why they did that. But at the same time, had we made more a big deal out of that situation, then maybe we would not be where we are today with R. Kelly. Okay, so fast forward to 1997, and a young woman by the name of Tiffany Hawkins sues R. Kelly for $10 million, claiming that he was in a relationship with her, or was having sexual relations with her, when she was only 15 years old and he was 24. He settled out of court with her for $250,000, I believe is the number that I saw. Again, that got swept underneath the rug. And mind you, there was also 2 other cases of women suing him for the same reason, and he paid them a settlement, and again, swept underneath the rug. And he continued to pump out them hits, and we continued to dance to them, and continue to watch Trapped in the Closet and Get Down to Ignition and all that good stuff. So fast forward to 2002, okay? This is the big one. R. Kelly gets indicted on 21 counts of child pornography. 21, okay? 21 counts of child pornography. They went into this man's home, found evidence, some of the evidence being a digital camera that was hiding. It was wrapped up in a towel inside of a duffel bag. And on the camera was pictures of an underage girl, you know, pictures. And the case was just a mess. The case was an absolute mess from the beginning because it took 6 years. 6 years, y'all, just to go to trial. And then it got postponed because Kelly had to have a surgery on his appendix. And then it got postponed again because the judge fell off a ladder and broke some bones and he needed to heal. Like, it was just an absolute mess. And the prosecution could not figure out exactly when this videotape was made. They could not put an exact date on when the tape was made. Let alone, for some reason, they could not prove without a shadow of a doubt that the man in the tape was R. Kelly. Anybody who has seen the tape, now I'm not among them, I have not seen the tape. A lot of people say, oh, I saw the tape and it's definitely him. It's not something I'm gonna watch because it's child pornography at the end of the day. So yeah, y'all are nasty. It took the jury only less than a day to deliberate and come back with a not guilty verdict. So, mind you, okay, during this time with R. Kelly, the man is calling himself the Pied Piper of R&B music. I'm gonna let that sink in. He's calling himself the Pied Piper. Now, this is what I'm saying about this man has been flaunting his pedophilia in our faces all of these years. Now, the story of the Pied Piper is a man was hired by this village to play his flute and get rid of all the rats out of the city because I guess they were running amok and they were, you know, starting gang wars and stuff like that and breaking into people's cars. Like, the rats were just doing the most. They hired this man to play his flute and get the rats up out of the town, and he did that. But then when it came time for him to collect his money, they didn't want to give it to him for whatever reason, and he was like, okay, well, I got something for that ass. And he went back and he played whatever song he needed to play. He played his little flute and he lured all of the children out of the city, lured them like off of a cliff or something, or maybe he killed them. I don't know, whatever. Y'all know how them old fairy tales go. They can be very, very dark sometimes. The moral of the story is the Pied Piper the moral of the story is pay people, okay? But the Pied Piper isn't like character to be celebrated because he killed these people's children specifically. He used his music to lure children. And R. Kelly swore up and down in the GQ interview that I mentioned earlier that he was completely oblivious to this fact. When they asked him about it, they were like, you know, considering the circumstances, you know, what's up with the whole Pied Piper name? And he was like, I started using that name when I started using flute sounds in my music. And they were like, well, you know, the story is, you know, about the children, you know, and they broke it down for him. And he was like, oh no, that's crazy. Wow, I didn't know that. And I'm like, you didn't know that, brother? You didn't know that, okay? You didn't know that, and there was nobody on your entire camp was like, hey, Kels, maybe we should choose another nickname. Maybe, this is the, yeah, let me, go ahead and read this. Right here, this is what happens at the end. Go ahead and read that. Like, nobody. Now, the people that were interviewed for this article that were in R. Kelly's inner circle, they gave detailed accounts of how R. Kelly runs this cult. And they said, like, he dictates what they eat and when they eat, how they dress. They have to ask to come out of their room, when they bathe, when they sleep, and when they engage in sexual activities that R. Kelly records and shows off to his homies. On the surface, it sounds like a very intense, like, BDSM type relationship, but just knowing that R. Kelly is a sexual predator really puts a different spin on it. So Kelly has a 31-year-old den mother, is how they put it, who trains new girls that come in on how R. Kelly likes to be pleased sexually. And that woman, she recently actually left the cult, but she was best friends with the girl that was on the videotape that R. Kelly went to trial for. If that says anything, you know, Mr. Oh, that's not me on the tape. There's also a 25-year-old woman who's been around since she was 18, a 19-year-old who we heard he was dating last year, named Hallie Calhoun. It kind of caused a little bit of buzz, but it was like a story that came and went. I'm sure that, probably the Kardashians did something and, overshadowed that. We don't really see him pictured with a lot of women or girls, considering his taste, obviously. But yeah, so we saw this girl, that story came out, people talked about it a little bit, but she's 19, so it just kind of is what it is. 26-year-old who's been around since she was 19, and an 18-year-old who the article described as R. Kelly's favorite girl. He calls these women his babies, and they have to call him daddy, and they must ask permission to just pretty much do anything. He confiscated their phones, gave them, new phones, and they can only call him or, use it for other purposes with permission. The other part that I found a little bit interesting in this story was when they said that the women have to dress in like jogging suits. Now this is where I'm like, okay, well, maybe we can call it a cult then, because he makes them dress in like these tracksuits, and when like other men are around, I'm guessing like his friends or something like that, they have to face the wall because he doesn't want them to be seen, and they have to wear these tracksuits so that they're not showing off their body or being seen as like attractive. It's just all about control. It's a very control thing, which is the reason why a lot of older men date younger, and probably women in some cases, because it's a control thing. It really is a matter of control. You are easier to control if I'm older than you and you're younger than me, because you automatically might feel like I know better. You know what I'm saying? Or like I have your best interests. And usually they try to make you, predators like this try to make you feel like they have your best interest at heart, when they don't. The article also said that if any of the women break any of the rules, then they're punished physically and verbally. I also, when I was, kind of doing more research for this video, I read that when he was married to his wife, her name was R.Kelly, she had to knock before entering any room, and she wasn't allowed to have family and friends visit to her or speak to her on the phone. So he was very controlling even in that situation. So, my thing is this. At the end of the day, R. Kelly is a known pedophile, a known creep. We the people, we know this. We know this about R. Kelly. We have all of the evidence, okay? People like Jim DeRogatis have done the research for us and presented it to us. The facts are out there for us, yet we still allow this man and men like this man to prosper and to profit, and it's not okay. It's not okay. And it's time. It's time for us to take a stand. It's time for us to stop letting this happen. We have to stop letting men like Chris Brown, for example. We have to stop letting men like Woody Allen. We have to stop letting men like Floyd Mayweather even, prosper when they use their power to destroy women. It's not okay. It's not. And it says a lot about us as people and our priorities as consumers, especially when we put the pain of women aside so that we can dance. You know what I'm saying? So that we could enjoy a song. This man is 50 years old, still sleeping with barely legal girls. He clearly has a problem. And for us to just ignore it so that we could step in the name of child predator love, it's disgusting. And you would think that, like, with all this drama, R. Kelly would just be like, you know what, y'all go ahead and go on home to your parents. I'll just give me some new girls. But no, instead he sent out one of the girls named Joycelyn Savage. She did an interview with TMZ. She says that she's fine. She says that she's all right. She looks very robotic and trained. And you could see somebody off camera kind of directing her in what to say or, you know, what questions to answer, what questions not to answer. So the interview started off okay, but then once they got towards, they were asking her, like, well, where are you at? Are you in Atlanta? Are you in Chicago? Oh, I don't want to answer that. Oh, well, is there anybody else with you? I don't want to answer that either. So it was like, okay, girl. Then she puts out another video herself, where she's going at her father, saying that he's embarrassing her, he's embarrassing the family, and he knows what's up, and he needs to stop. He just needs to stop. And she's fine, she's happy where she's at, or whatever. And it's like, bad move, R. Kelly, bad move, because this video, if anything, just confirmed this article and confirmed everybody's suspicions. Like, she's out here looking crazy, and you are looking even crazier. And for you to send her out there, and then also, I think either he released a statement or his lawyer released a statement where he is going to fight for his innocence, or whatever the case may be against these allegations. And it's just like, we just have to get him up out of here, y'all. It's enough. Enough is enough already. And here's just a message for, like, all the creeps out there who think just because somebody is of age, just they're 18, 19 years old, that your old ass needs to get with them, or that it's okay for you to hit on them. No, they might be 18, 19 years old, but you are still old. The age difference is still the same. No, leave them alone. Stop creeping on young people. 2017, thank you. 2018, 2019, 2020, and just to infinity and beyond, okay? Stop creeping on the young ones. Find somebody your own damn age. And like I said, legally, there's really nothing that can be done about R. Kelly, but we, the people, can decide that, you know what, we're not tolerating this anymore. We are not going to fund your lifestyle. So there's some situations where you can separate the art from the artist, and this is not one of them. Because R. Kelly is up there on stage, if you go to one of his shows, or if you're listening to his songs, he's singing about sex. Okay? He's singing about sex. And you have to understand that when he wrote these songs, he is singing them from the point of view of a pedophile. Because we know who and what he likes to have sex with. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just, you can't. We need to stop purchasing his concert tickets. We need to stop streaming his music. R. Kelly is officially canceled, okay? It's time. It's time. It's well past due to get R. Kelly up out of here, all right? And as for the parents of these girls, y'all are just as guilty, because you pretty much pimped your daughter out so that she could be famous or have a career, get money, or whatever the case is, because you knew better. You knew what this man was. You knew what he does. And you went ahead and you let your daughter be in his presence anyway. No, you should have gone to that concert by yourself. No. And you should have never brought your child backstage. You should have never let R. Kelly have contact with your child if they were still living under your roof, or if you were still paying for their lifestyle. There's no reason for that. There's too many people in this music business, especially in Atlanta, and I'm sure Chicago, that you don't need R. Kelly. You don't. You could have found anybody else to help forward your daughter's music career, but you chose a known pedophile. So it's hard to feel sympathy for you. I'm sorry. It is a sad situation, but girl, do better. And if you have other kids, just do better by them. And hopefully your family will be together again one day. But that's all I have to say about it. Can we talk about it? Go ahead and let me know in the comments how y'all feel about this whole R. Kelly situation. You know, and we let's just talk about it, because I don't know, it's just a mess. Do you feel like these parents are guilty? Do you feel like R. Kelly is guilty? Do you feel like all of this is just to distract us from whatever Donald Trump's doing? You know, do we need to stay woke? What's going? You know, let me know how y'all feel. Go ahead and comment. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you for watching. And make sure that you guys follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Stairway to Devon. That is Stairway TODEVEN. You see what I did there? Like Stairway to Heaven, Stairway to Devon. Okay. Anyways, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Stairway to Devon. And follow my Facebook blog at Stairway to Devon. And check out my book. It's on Amazon. It's called Stand Up. The main author is Teresa Haley. I'm just one of the authors on it. But it's a book full of inspiring stories and it's cheap. So you should buy it. All right. And bye.